I'm so excited to bring on our next guest, a guest that will be with us all winter long, the Scott Boras scoreboard. Scott Boras is one of the more delightful, fascinating characters in our game. He puts the super and super agent. He represents some of the biggest stars in the sport and is a character all his own. And because he commands so much of the market this winter, we want to make sure we keep track of his wins and his losses. We started this on the last episode and determined that Scott Boras right now is 0-1-1 heading in to the morning of Friday, November 8th. The Bellinger contract decision is a draw, and the Garrett Cole opt-out game of chicken is a big fat loss. Jordan Shusterman, what other moves, decisions, quotes would you like to throw up for the scoreboard?
So our view of how this scoreboard is going to work is it is very, I was going to say binary, although we are including draws. So I guess it is, there are three options here. But the difference between a horrible Alex Bregman pun and a contract for Sean Manaea, it's not you can't score more than 1 point or lose more than 1 point. It is a win, it is a loss, or it is a draw. Anything involving Scott Boras this winter, that is how we are going to assess it.
Jordan, if you go and you beat Liverpool on the road, that's 3 points. And if you beat Swansea at home, also 3 points.
That's true. So the size of the win, we're not concerned about goal differential, contract different. No, it doesn't matter. Is the thing that happened or the thing that was said a win, a loss, or a draw? And for those unfamiliar, Scott Boras, when he talks about his clients, he likes to get a little goofy with it. He likes to bring out the dad jokes of all dad jokes. Many have wondered, is he writing these? Does he have an army of joke writers to prepare these lines about his top clients? But as you mentioned, and we're going to get to these specific lines in a second, he is, and not that this hasn't been the case in recent years, but he truly will be dominating the top of this market in a way that we have not seen, arguably since 2019, when he had Garrett Cole, Steven Strasburg, and Anthony Rendon. But this year, he's got Juan Soto, Corbin Burns, Alex Bregman, Blake Snell, Pete Alonso. And then it's like even more than that. I completely forgot he had Jurickson Profar, Kikuchi, Manaea, Nick Martinez, Austin Hedges, who he just got a deal for, Josh Bell, Conforto, Matthew Boyd, Max Scherzer. Hello, Max Scherzer is a Boras client. That's a big one. JD Martinez, Joey Gallo, and now Jose Iglesias.
So that's 5 of our top 7 free agents on our top 50 list are represented by Scott Boras. Jordan, run me through some of the bits he did the other day.
So he spoke at the GM meetings in San Antonio, and he gave us some, again, what he does is he basically takes their clients' names and very delicately weaves them into a pun you could not have possibly foreseen. Here's what he said about Juan Soto. Quote, "The owners, the general managers, they are kind of called upon to be championship magicians. It's kind of what they're asked to do. It's hard to do, to put together that magic for the championship run. But behind every great magician, obviously, is the magic wand."
L.
All right. This is an L.
L.
We're putting this, he's now 0-2-1.
L. I actually been reading about the history of magicians recently.
Yeah.
I read Harry Houdini's entire Wikipedia page this morning. And behind every great magician is not a magic wand.
Yeah. Or wand, either. You're saying that even the pun itself, that you're saying that the wand, which is what he's going for, is overrated. I agree.
Houdini never had a wand, and he's the most famous magician.
Yeah. And honestly, too, like, I think we've been talking about Soto's free agency for years. You gotta come. I hope he's got more material for Soto for the winter meetings. I really hope he can do better than that. Here's another lazy one. This is on Corbin Burns. Quote, "Essentially, he continues to be a Corbin copy of his previous seasons." This is another L for me because it's not kind of ascribing a quality. It's just saying that it's been the same thing, which we know is good. But who am I to say, you know what else has been a Corbin copy? Patrick Corbin, who has been the worst pitcher in the league 5 years in a row. So if I don't know who Corbin Burnes is, this is not telling me how special he is in the way that Magic Juan or some of these other ones that we're going to get to. So that's why I'm low on this one. But do you disagree?
I completely agree. Your Patrick Corbin point is outstanding. Boras on Alex Bregman. He's provided the Astros with that infusion of championship blood. Everything about him is A-B positive.
Dub.
Win.
This
Win.
is a dub. This is an absolute easy. Yeah, let's munch on that dub real quick. That's, I guess, Boris's first win.
Yep.
All right. So that's a win for Boras there. Okay, this next one is absolutely unhinged. Here we go. Obviously, he represented Blake Snell last year, right? And it didn't go so great. So they asked him, hey, Scott, why is it going to be different for Blake Snell this year?
Great question.
Totally good question.
Honestly, would love not a joke.
I would love an actual
response.
answer. I know. We are genuinely wondering. This is what Scott Boras had to say. Quote, there's no doubt the Snelling salts created a lot of whiffs. And the market has definitely awakened. Whoa. This one is different. This one is so over the top. Like, I think Snelling salts has to be one of the more edgy references he's made in any of these puns. And I think this is a win for me too.
Absolutely. But the best one he unleashed was about Pete Alonso. And I quote, we hear a lot about the bear market for power hitting first basemen. For Pete's sake, it's the polar opposite.
Ooh. Now this one has so many layers to it. Bear market, bear, like empty bear, like polar bear. What is it? For Pete's sake. Oh, which is so great because it literally is for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. This is a massive dub. This is another one that we have to give to him. So he came back. We were disappointed by Magic Juan, but that's a win. And now we have.
Well, that brings him to 3-3-1.
Yes. And then let's do Jose Iglesias. Apparently, Jose Iglesias has hired Scott Boras for his latest round of free agency. And Scott Boras referred to him as, quote, truly we have the first MLB two-way player, of course, referring to him as his pop star talents. This is lazy and disrespectful. So I'm giving this an L. For Boras. This is definitely an L.
It would not be an L if he represented either Ohtani, Bo Jackson, or Deion Sanders.
And this is why it's an extra L, because it has the tinge of saltiness that he doesn't represent Ohtani.
Yeah.
And so that's absolutely an L for him. I wish Jose Iglesias the best, but that's also an L.
However, we're about to give him another L for losing a client. Adrian Morejon, a reliever for the Padres, announced that he is leaving Scott Boras. That is an L. So that brings him to 3-5-1. But shouldn't we give him a W for getting Jose Iglesias?
Oh, but yeah, but see, that line counteracted it. If I only knew that Jose Iglesias now decided to get Scott Boras, I would give him a W. But
you don't give him a W and an L? Do we just give him a draw?
No. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, never mind. I hate the line, but he did add a client and make up for the fact that he lost Morejon. Morejon coming off a great season, but Morejon's looking at this situation, not that he's a free agent, but he's looking at the situation. He's like, why is he going to pay attention to me anymore? Which is a fair concern.
And then we have one more.
Yeah, the one more we have to add to the scoreboard is the fact that he has got another contract for Austin Hedges. Catcher has returned to the Guardians on a 1-year, $4 million deal. And it's a W. Listen, I was around the Guardians for the last 3 months. I understand the importance of Austin Hedges and recognize his value. However, as a player who is objectively one of the worst hitters in baseball history, I love that he is still that Scott Boras is like, yes, you will be paying you, the Guardians, who will not be spending a lot of money this winter. You will be spending some of it on him. And that is great. And I understand that Hedges has his value. I don't really know how much it is worth. I think it is not irrelevant that David Fry got Tommy John and is not going to be able to catch next year. So Austin Hedges, they extra need him to come back. But it's a Boras dub. And Austin Hedges has said that he wants to play like at least 6 or 7 more years. That's going to really be, we're going to be talking about these Boras dubs for a long time if he can keep getting Austin Hedges contracts. So congrats to Hedgie and congrats to Boras. That is another dub for him.
So that on the day, pop up the scoreboard. That brings Scott Boras to 4-4-2 so far this winter. Today wins for Hedges contract. Bregman bit, Snell bit, Pete bit. Losses for Soto bit, Burns bit, and literally losing a client in Adrian Marjon. And a draw for gaining Jose Iglesias, but unleashing a lazy two-way player bit. Stay tuned on the Baseball Barbacast to see if Scott Boras finishes the winter ahead on points.
Oh, we cannot wait. All right,
can
Jake,
he qualify for the Champions League places?